Hey guys, Sublord here, back in with another action figure review. Today, we'll be continuing our looks at the Mythic Legion's Necronominus wave with the Turpiculi, or Turpiculi, you know, potato, potato, tomato, tomato, that sort of thing. It's of course brought to us by the fine folks over at Horsemen Studios, and I'm gonna be honest with you, when they initially revealed this guy, I was like, that thing is all kinds of crazy. I don't know how I feel about that. But after having him in hand for a while, I gotta tell ya, he's turning out to be a potential favorite when it comes to Mythic Legions in the calendar year at 2025. Let me tell you what, and there's a lot we have to look forward to still. The year is young. It's only February, second month of the year. Well, we're almost to March now, but you know what I mean. So with that being said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all the Turpiculi, whatever you want to call it, has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with this alternate hornless skull. I almost called it hornyless skull. That said, he's got the hinged jaw going on. And I'm going to tell you, if you get multiples of these, you'd probably make an awesome looking skeleton wyvern out of them. This head in particular kind of gives me those vibes. I guess wyverns can have horns too, but kind of like the hornless wyverns myself. They usually just have little spiky mohawk dealies. That said, we also got a pair of alternate hands. It's kind of reaching out hand, and then this almost trigger finger hand, so you could give him a blaster from Cosmic Legions if you wanted to, but there you go. You got some style posy hands. Surprisingly, only that for the hands, but he's not like a builder kit or anything, and you do get a lot in the box, so you know, to their credit, it's fine. He's got a pair of giant knuckle dusters. These things are huge. That said, as far as the peg size goes, it looks like these pegs are significantly bigger than these. I do not think they are compatible, but I guess if you use some heat, anything's possible, right? But I wouldn't do it. But he's got some giant knuckle dusters there. Like, holy cow. And speaking of pairs, we got a pair of these kind of bone swords with the blade tip that's at a 90-degree angle. Kind of looks like an L, depending on which way you put it. Or a pair of cartoony feet. But he comes with a pair of those. And also this bone cleaver. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't come with two of those. But if I'm not mistaken, I've never tried this. I could slide this in here? Maybe. I think these are meant to be more like fists, but I guess if you wanted to have this handle weapons, you could. But there you go. That's your lots. That's what you get. And then, of course, you get the rest of the figure, who's got 4 arms, a pair of wings, and a tail. Definitely enough in the box, if you ask me. So taking a closer look at the Turpiculi, he is all kinds of crazy looking. Kind of reminds me of that old Toy Biz Phage figure. Most of you Marvel fans will know the Phage, the symbiote that's like yellow with the spikes on him. This Phage looked like some kind of weird skeleton tentacle monster. And I don't know why this guy reminds me of that, but if he had like tentacles for legs instead of these skeleton dwarf legs, that's what everyone's flipping out over with this figure. I feel like he'd remind me more of that. That said, the bone wings, they're just simple hinges with swivels. There's nothing else. These don't bend here, which kind of sucks. It would have been cool if they could bend here, maybe somewhere up here, but I get it. It's fine. We do have the bone wing pack coming in All-Star 6, so if you want to, you could give him those. As far as his head goes, it's on the ball joint. You can look all the way down. Can't really look up, which kind of sucks for a more hunched character like this. The jaw on this head opens as well. I was very pleasantly surprised by that. I did not know this jaw was going to move initially, because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I mean, just look at Necronominus and my boy Maxilius the Harvester we looked at earlier this week. That said, the shoulders, the big ones here, pop out to the side. And hopefully back down. There you go. Oy caramba. That said, you might notice, hey, yours is a little different from mine. That's because I swapped the lower arms. I put the long ones in the front and the short ones in the back. That way the arms are the same length. And that way he can get a wider reach with these back arms when he holds his swords out. And I just think it makes more sense to have the big arms in the front. I don't know. What do you guys think? But there you go. You can reach out like that. Still, he does have the elbow hinge with rotation on all four arms, as well as the swivel hinge wrists. Same swivels and hinges on all the hands. So he does not have the appropriate hinge for holding weapons. Shame! It's not that big a deal, really, but I do prefer it when they move up and down. He's got these big claws. Now, I swapped these on. He does not come packaged with those either. Same with the wings. You have to pop those on yourself. And the tail, but the tail's pretty easy. I didn't have to use any heat. It is bendy, but it pretty much kind of bends sideways. At least as far as I've noticed. You can bend it back. It's got a little scorpion stinger there. But you can bend it back. But it's going to kind of curl up in the middle here. So I just kind of leave it like this. Kind of reminds me of a centipede. That said, torso articulation kind of off the chain with this guy. Let me see if I can move the arms out of the way. Get a better look at that. So he's got like a double diaphragm like up here. Is this arm plugged in all the way? I think it is. Might have just been because I had it bent. But he's got like a double diaphragm joint. I don't know what kind of craziness is going on up here. Oh, maybe it's a single. I thought it was a double. No, it's a single. Okay. But he can crunch forward that far. Crunch back this far. Yeah, it's a single. You can see kind of his guts hanging out or whatever there. That's kind of gross. But he does have some tilt. And twist. So plenty of range of motion in there. It's not floppy or nothing, but I do think it was tighter earlier. So I might heat this up. Pop this apart and see what's going on in there. But we'll wait to do that a little later. Hips will kick out to the side that far. Back down, forward and back. He's got the little loop-de-loop for weapons on his belt. I think that's one piece too. Yeah, that's one piece. It's not like some of the belts where they're detached. He's got a hinge on the knee. With the swivel below it. No thigh swivel, unfortunately, but he does have the ball hinge feet with a hinge and a rocker, and I do believe some peg holes. So, very awesome figure. I like this guy a lot. Obviously, he's a crazy skeleton, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be into the craziness. I am into the craziness. I think it's awesome. It'll be nice to get more of these, because I do intend to do a pop and swap unboxing video when I get some more of these, just like I did for the Undead of Vikenfell, whatever fell, because that stuff is fun, you know, and that's what this hobby's all about, isn't it? And I fully intend to make a skeleton flying monkey with the gorilla head from that head pack we're getting in All-Star 6, and those wings, those deluxe wings too. So that will be awesome, but that is another story for another day. Right now, we need to move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is our Turpiculi, whatever you want to call it, alongside the only other undead Legion builders available from the Mythic Legions line that aren't, you know, a couple years old. I think the deluxe skeleton is still kicking around, but with that being said, we do have the Skeleton Legion Builder 2, which Good luck getting a hold of that guy, unless you're up at the butt crack of dawn to get to the Four Horsemen table at a convention not near you, because God knows they don't show up near me, so I can imagine where else they don't show up to. And we also have the Undead of Vikenfell. I recently did an unboxing / pop and swap video of that guy on my Instagram, overlord.productions. Check that out if you haven't already. I made a really awesome skeleton Valkyrie, combining parts from that figure and the skeleton soldier from Advent of Decay. That said, getting these two out of here. Turpiculi's scale kind of varies depending on how you really got him posed. He's meant to be a kind of short fella, but speaking of Advent of Decay, actually, we got the Brother Mandibilith. One of the first figures I ever reviewed on this channel. As well as the infamous 11 Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and not only can I see why so many people were looking forward to good old Turpiculi, whatever you want to call him, but I can wholeheartedly say that this figure right here exceeded all my expectations, because I gotta be honest with you in saying that when he was initially revealed, he was not one of my most anticipated figures from the Necronominus wave. However, after having him in hand for a while and being able to mess around with him and whatnot, I can say with 110% confidence that he is definitely a shoo-in for one of my favorite figures from this Mythic Legions wave. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.